Hi, this is Sarah. In this lecture, we will discuss specular microscopy in pseudophakic presbyopic correction. The learning goals of this presentation course are to understand the principles of specular microscopy, to explore its use in ophthalmic clinical practice, and to identify how it can help the clinician to identify possible pitfalls in the pseudophakic presbyopic correction in patients with endothelial dystrophies. To start with specular microscopy principles, we should mention that specular microscopy is based on specular reflection, which happens when the angle of the incident light on a surface is the same as the reflected light. If the illuminating or incident beam of light falls on the cornea, a small proportion is reflected from the interface between endothelium and aqueous, because the refraction index of the endothelium is slightly different than that of the aqueous humor. The specular microscope magnifies the image reflected from the interface by a factor of 200 and gives a magnified image of the endothelial cells. The specular microscope is used in ophthalmology to investigate the health of the corneal endothelium. Specifically, it is used preoperatively to estimate the chances of endothelial decompensation after an intraocular procedure, such as phacoemulsification, postoperatively, to assess the loss of endothelial cells, to evaluate donor cornea before corneal transplantation, corneal graft before implantation, and the graft after implantation. One of the most common corneal diseases is Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy, which is a sporadic or autosomal dominantly inherited non-inflammatory dystrophy of the corneal endothelium. It causes gradual loss of the endothelial cells which lack the capacity to replicate. The endothelial cells are responsible for maintaining the hydration status of the cornea. It is known that the cornea contains 78% water that comes from the tear film and the aqueous. Indeed, the endothelial cells pump the excess water out of the stroma, and the gradual reduction of their number leads ultimately to corneal swelling and blurring of vision. Clinically, the hallmark of Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy is the formation of guttae on the endothelium, which are excrescences of the Descemet's membrane and can be seen with the slit lamp. Indeed, if Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy progresses, it leads to corneal edema. Therefore, specular microscopy can analyze the status of the endothelium. Specifically, it can measure different indices of the corneal endothelium, such as the density of the endothelial cells, the variation of their size, and the percentage of hexagonal cells. In Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy, the cell density and the percentage of hexagonal cells decrease while the polymorphism increases, and this may lead to corneal edema after cataract surgery with poor visual outcome. Following phacoemulsification surgery, endothelial cell loss is unavoidable. Specifically, research shows that there is a 5 to 20% endothelial cell loss after uneventful phacoemulsification in healthy eyes. In patients with Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy, this cell loss adds to the cell depletion from the natural course of the dystrophy. These patients are therefore at increased risk of developing corneal edema and experiencing reduced contrast sensitivity, halos, and glare. The same visual phenomena trouble patients with presbyopia correcting intraocular lenses. So, it is likely that the implantation of such lenses in Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy will worsen these unwanted visual symptoms. In more detail, recent data has shown that the use of diffractive multifocal and extended depth of focus intraocular lenses are safe to use in patients with Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy without corneal edema. Patients with intermediate stages of Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy without corneal edema fitted with extended depth of focus intraocular lenses had inferior uncorrected distance visual acuity and lower spectacle independence than healthy subjects, but they did not have morphotic phenomena compared with the healthy control eyes. On the other hand, patients with Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy implanted with multifocal intraocular lenses had similar uncorrected distance visual acuity and spectacle independence results compared to healthy eyes, but significantly more photic phenomena. To summarize, specular microscopy is a valuable tool for the assessment of the corneal endothelium. patients with Fuchs endothelial dystrophy are at increased risk for developing corneal edema and bothersome visual symptoms after cataract surgery. Although presbyopia-correcting intraocular lenses can cause similar dysphotopic phenomena as the presence of corneal edema, it seems that Fuchs endothelial dystrophy without edema is not an absolute contraindication for the use of premium intraocular lenses. Finally, it would be wise to take measures intraoperatively to reduce the risk of endothelial cell loss, for example, the use of low ultrasound power, the use of dispersive viscoelastic, and phacoemulsification of the cataract away from the endothelium. On this slide, you can find a few references for further reading. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on specular microscopy in pseudophakic presbyopic correction, and please don't forget to run the self-evaluation tests of the lecture.